Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition, today's double hitter of Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole. I am honored to be back again and just taking a moment because this will be the last of our Women's Empowerment series for the month of, it was October, but into November as well. And we are knocking at Friday. I know it's Wednesday, but we have one more day before the She Women's Empowerment Conference. And there are no words to describe. I'm excited. I am overwhelmed. I'm humbled. And I am looking forward to seeing all of you ladies out there that have registered and pouring into you over this weekend. So I'm excited about the opportunity to present to you these phenomenal people that are going to talk with you in a very authentic way about being unfiltered and uncensored so that you can go out and you can live your best life. You can be your best version of you, and you can know that it's okay to be human and to function and to move forth as a normal person, because normalness is imperfect. It is not confined in a box. It is each and every one of us and the uniqueness that we bring to the table. So thank you all so much. Thank you for your support and your love that you all have been pouring into me and my team over the last month and a half or so as we've gotten this word out to each of you. Look for things to come. This weekend is only the tip of the iceberg. Trust me, 2020 is going to be so much better, so much brighter, because we are ending the year off exactly how we want to start next year, with a bang, full of power, full of energy, full of enrichment, and putting ourselves out there to walk in our purpose and to move unapologetically forward in who we are and what we are going to be. So I just wanted to come on tonight and thank you. Unfortunately, our special guest for tonight wasn't able to join us, but I did want to take a moment to thank you so much for supporting us. And remember, if you haven't already registered, there is still time. Register. This is going to be an amazing event. And I always say it's not just an event, it's going to be an amazing experience. If you're in our private Facebook group for She Empowerment, then you already have seen a lot of those behind the scenes highlights as we prepare and get ready for this weekend. So we've been meeting, we've been working to the bone, and so much has been going on. I have she boxes going out this week. So they are back to back, lots of fun, lots of energy. I will be exhausted and knocked out on Sunday night. That is a guarantee. But what is also a guarantee is that all of us, including myself, will be tremendously enriched over this weekend, and we are in for a treat. We are in for a time to have fun and to enjoy one another and to maximize our time there. So I hope you join me. I'm going to play a quick video so that you can see all the things that you have to look forward to. All right, so it looks like we might have our special guest come and join us today. So if you're here, hold on just a moment. I am going to pull her in, and I am excited because this is, as I said, our last of the Talks and Tea to bring everyone and present our women's empowerment team to you. And this is just a piece of the team. So everyone is not even here this is just a portion of the people that have been coming. So you've heard from our list of dynamic people that are coming to you, and tonight will not disappoint. We have a very special guest today who is coming to us, and so she will be on in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our talks and tea. I'll talk about our tea, and then she should be on so that you can get to see the Honorable Judith Hawkins. All right, so as I told you, it's Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my special guest will be coming very soon. As you can imagine, as we're preparing for this She Empowerment Conference, it is back to back, and I'm telling you, something is going on in every arena of everything. And so tonight I have my She mug. I'm still drinking my tea from earlier today, and this is Love Spell by More Fire Teas, and they are one of our tea sponsors. And so I am excited to drink their teas, More Fire herbal teas and spoke blends, and it is delicious. And this one is one that really smells good also. All right, so today I am bringing up for us the Honorable, our guest, Judith Hawkins. She's a retired judge and a retired lawyer. And now what she does is she fully engages in following her long given assignment, and that is to reach out to women, and especially to women in particular, telling and reminding and encouraging them to remember that we are nurturers by the divine design, and individually our impact and our influence to make a difference. And she is here to challenge us, and we are here to accept the challenge to be the best we can be. So welcome, Judith Hawkins.
I am so tickled pink to be here with you, Tonya Nicole. This is a great moment for me. I'm a little concerned because I sent out the notices and people are saying they can't get in. So I'm not quite sure what that's about, but we're here.
What? Our talk?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they will be able to join us. It's going to be on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, and then we can also share it from our other pages. So hopefully they will join us today before we finish so that they can get a part of this great talk.
I got my cup. I got my mug.
Yes, tell me, what is your mug and what are you drinking?
I was supposed to be drinking my favorite store brand of green tea with ginseng and honey that I like heated up. But I got nervous that I was going to miss being here with you on time. So I did heat it up.
That's okay. That's
okay. How about a little transparency tonight?
I love it. That's what we need. Unfiltered, uncensored. So tell me about your mug. What's on your mug?
Oh, it says God's Road Ministries. I actually have two ministries. God's Road Ministry is the original one that was founded back in about I got the idea back in 2010. And then this year I've created this sister not-for-profit site, which is GRM2. And God's Road Ministry, the mission was to help us to understand that timeless Bible truths have applications today. And GRM2 talks about the journey to understanding. And I think that some of this gray hair here indicates that I've got some tread, got some wisdom under the hood, and I can help younger women and other women, and even women with some age, understand some of the things that we're going through and understand how it really impacts us and moves us along.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your background, because this is great to where you are now, but what's a little bit of your background and your history that brought you to this point?
Actually, there's nothing particularly, I don't know, I got this shadow here, but there's nothing particularly interesting in my life. It was just a nice, common, pleasant life, as people would say. maybe a pothole here or there. But in 2012, I entered into what I used to refer to it as my Job season, but now
Mm,
I would refer to it as a flood. And I'm now on the rainbow side of it.
nice.
So starting in 2012, I experienced just a series of professional and personal losses, just back to back to back to back. And and now I think I understand the rainbow, that all these things have happened to push me into doing what I'm doing now, which is full-time ministry. So
I
I'm
love
excited about it.
I'm
My love for the
excited.
law has changed significantly.
I love that. So one of our friends, Dr. Leona, said, "Hi, ladies."
Hi back, Doc.
That's really awesome that your life has brought you to this point. And I love that you're saying it wasn't always just a life full of regret or pain or past difficulties, because a lot of times we're told that you have to go through all of these bad things in order to have this great life. And you're saying, yeah, I did some bad, I had some potholes, but in the end, it just led you to where you are now.
And you know, the truth be told, potholes, everybody should have a pothole or two. We don't really want all of the potholes to tear up the alignment of our tires. They're just potholes. And we want to make the best choices that we can make as we process through our journey. But what happened to me in 2016 was a series of things over which I had absolutely no control. And the truth is that bad things do happen to good people. And so no matter how much we prepare, no matter how much we plan, no matter how much control we think we may have, life still has its own agenda for us. And so the real question is, how are we going to cope with it? How are we going to deal with it? COVID-19 is a good example. I'm sure everybody who's under the sound of our voice today, and those who will hear this whenever they hear it, we started out in January looking forward to a bright and prosperous year. And it kind of got sidetracked, but I can assure you there are a lot of people out there who are saying that this prosperity that they were looking for in January 1st, they've experienced it. It came in a very different vehicle, very, very different route. Look at you.
That's what I was going to say, because for me, I was so looking forward to this year because I celebrated a milestone birthday. I turned 40 this year. And
You
so,
got to know that you are.
yes, oh, I don't mind. I'm happy. I'm thankful to live 40 years. And I was so excited because I was like, okay, this is going to be a turning point, and I'm going to do all these great things. And like you said, a series of unfortunate events, but instead of dwelling in the unfortunateness of them, if I just made up that word, I decided to pivot and turn it into how it can be my power versus just being my pain. So,
you know, you did make up that word, and everything has a flip side. Everything has a flip side. You know, when you do tapestry, you're either looking at the finished side or you're looking at the side with all the knots. And most of us in doing our life journeys, we're looking at the knots, but God is looking down at the finished side. And if we could only for a moment get ourselves to just ask to see how He sees it, we'll realize that all those knots are creating a gorgeous piece of artwork.
I like that. I like that. Look at the tapestry. And there are definitely two different angles to everything. So I ask you, as you have done all of this, you've experienced these parts of life, and now you're brought here to GM2. Is that right?
GRM2.
I missed the letter. GRM2.
God's Road Ministry, and this is God's Road Ministry version 2.
Love it, love it, love it. So what services do you offer with this ministry that you're in?
Well, it's I am a motivational speaker, a preacher, workshop presenter. I have written, in fact, we will be giving away during the conference a copy of my books, my devotional books. My goal is to write a full devotional, a year's devotional. I've gotten 2 quarters done.
Nice.
The story is that the first one, which is, they're both old stories, new insights. The first one was part of the reason that they used for me to lose my job. So I was a judge for 18 years before I was removed from the bench. And I asked God, well, what shall I do now? And He says, well, write the second volume. And I sat right down and pinned it right out. Haven't been able to get the third and fourth one done yet, but I sense it's in my spirit. It just needs to come on up and out.
They're on the horizon.
They're on
the horizon. So as we come, so you are one of our few speakers or many speakers here coming to the She Empowerment Conference. And so tell me, how did you get a part of the She Empowerment Conference, and what are you looking forward to?
Do you want the real truth, or you want me to give you a polite answer?
No, give me the real truth.
The real truth is that I am working on a project to interview 20 women for the next book that I'm writing. It'll also be very much, though, in the digital presentation. And one of the women that I want to interview would happen to be Dr. Deborah Harris. Do you know her by chance?
That's my mama.
It's your mama. So when I called your mama and we were talking about the project that I'm working on, she told me about your conference. And I promptly contacted you. And we have maintained such a professional relationship. So the rest of the story is that Tonya, who actually calls me Aunt Judy, was in Gainesville at the University of Florida at the same time. My son, Jason, and my precious, wonderful daughter-in-law, Dion, were there, and my niece, Camille. They were all there together at the university. And so with that, I guess you said, my Aunt Judy's got something to say. I'll let her in.
Then let's even take it further back. When I was first looking at applying to law schools, I went to Syracuse, and that's where I first met your son, your daughter-in-law. In Syracuse, visiting, because that's where I wanted to go to law school. But it was cold and expensive.
Cold takes care of it. But let me take it back even further than that. You're from Greensboro, North Carolina. I was born in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Really?
You didn't know this? I actually attended church with your folks. The few old nine.
You know your people.
Yeah, I know your people. I know your people way back.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I was born in Greensboro, Market Street. I went to the Market Street SDA church.
Wow. What a small world.
Very small world. Very small world. I thought you knew that.
I did not know that. Like, I'm taking a moment. I'm not going to take too long, but I did not know that. Yeah. That's cool. So do you still have family in North Carolina?
No, we all relocated. My father worked for A&T, well, actually for the state, but he was based at A&T, and then he went to the federal government, and we moved to Charlottesville, which is where I finished my last 2 years of high school. Where did you go to high school?
I grew up in Florida.
Okay, you grew up in Florida. Okay, your father was from Greensboro.
My daddy was from, I'd be lying. I think he went to, I'd be lying.
Oh, he went to the Black high school. No, he probably went to the integrated school, because I was at Ben L. Smith.
No, he wasn't.
No, Dudley. That
Dudley.
was
okay. Okay.
Dudley was the primary Afro-American, or the Black high school. And I came along right when they were doing integration. And so I was part of that first wave where they integrated us by allowing the faculty to be non-Black, but the student population was pretty much Black.
Wow. Yeah. I love this. I love all this history and knowledge. Okay, so Regina says, hello, Judy.
Hey, Regina. Now, Regina and I go way back. She got some stories to tell about me, but Regina, don't tell them.
Don't tell them, but you can comment and we'll add them in here.
Regina may want to talk about how I stalked her. Of course, that's not my recollection of our friendship, but that's okay.
I love it. I remember one time, I don't even remember the year. I had 2 of my children. I hadn't had my third one yet. And we were in Tallahassee, and I don't remember why we were there, but I ran into you at your church. And you were like, Tonya, what are you doing? Because I was single mom, taking care of these 2 kids and trying to do it all. And you were like, I can't remember the exact words, but you were like, we need to live within where we are. So basically within what our mindset is. And you were like, you need to put things in place so that you can work all of these angles. Do you remember that? That wasn't the verbiage, but you were basically like, get yourself together. You should not be doing it all by yourself.
I have learned that I have what I call the gift of Holy Spirit unction. I run into so many people who tell me what I've said to them and what impact it had upon them. And I'm going, okay. For instance, I had been going to the dentist's office and the receptionist had waited on me many times. And finally she said to me, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I kind of looked at her like, "No, I don't." She says, "I was before you. Before you at first appearance." And she said, "You read my papers and then you looked up and you looked me dead in the eye and said, 'What are you doing here?'"
Wow.
And she said to herself, "What am I doing here?"
Mm.
And that was, to use your word, that was her pivotal moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have absolutely no recollection of her. I have no recollection of the event, but it sounds like something that I would have said. And I run into people so often who tell me I look at it this way. I'm a vessel, I'm a conduit, I'm a pipeline. And so often God flows to me with messages for people. And I remember being on the bench oftentimes where the court would be full, but I would end up actually engaging a defendant, a litigant, in a pointed conversation. And then I would realize that virtue had flowed out of me. And then I would pick the docket back up and run on through it. And I came to realize that I'm a seed sower. I truly am a seed sower. People tell me frequently what I said to them. And usually it's what I said. Every now and then I get what I did. Even Regina, who's listening, she will tell you something that I said. And I'm not going to tell you that I have a clear, Regina says, I want to tell some stories. I can't really tell you that I have a clear recollection of that. But she says what I said it was a pivotal point in her life. So I look forward to that. So if I poured into you, praise God.
Oh, always, always. I always would kind of tap into you. And even Jason came to the law school after I got there, but you were always Aunt Judy, and Jason was like the cousin, and Dion became the sister-in-law and all that stuff. Camille, it was wonderful. So
y'all were a foursome.
Say that we were. And even though I was younger, like I would tag along with them. So what are you most looking forward to for the She Empowerment Conference?
I'm in the process of relaunching my ministry and refocusing, and I'm so excited about this opportunity to do just that. It wasn't at all the way I envisioned that this year would be for the relaunching of my ministry, but the opportunity to share, the opportunity to bring a very serious spiritual component to what is going on in our individual lives and what is going on outside of our space is really motivating me because, and the other thing of it is, thank you very much. You're pushing me to do a lot of the groundwork, the technical side of preparing the ministry. But I just was talking to the person who's going to help me with my landing page for information at Journey to Understanding. And he was asking me about the election. And I told him, I'm just being, I don't think we're going to have a president until Thanksgiving Day. That's my attitude. But I told him it really doesn't matter which one was elected from a biblical point of view, And I think that what I'm bringing to the table is to say to women in particular, if you don't have some divine wisdom and understanding, you're going to crash, because life will give you some challenges and some situations that you've got to have a touchstone. You've got to have real truth to process it. So I just alluded to everything that I went through. In 2012, my beloved brother died, who was a professor at the university. At his funeral, my husband, Jim, and I had a discussion that we would adopt his granddaughter and that she would become a part of our family in terms of being grandparents. I had no idea that within 9 months of his retiring, he would be dead. he would be dead. And so that's 2013. In 2014, my brother's wife died. In 2014, I was removed from the bench. I thought that was all that there was. In 2015, the Florida bar came after my bar license. It was unprecedented. There was no indication whatsoever that that would be the next part of my journey. In the meantime, I'm beginning to feel the financial stress and challenges of going from two solid incomes down to one, and then that one was gone. 2016, I think I just zoned out during the year. It was just too much. I just said, God, I can't handle anymore. And I told everybody that I can't, everybody is going to be covered in 2016. I've just decided, I am announcing it, that God is going to give me a moment to catch my breath. And if you're within my space, you will get that moment. But I can assure you that come January 1st or sunset on December 31st, that covering is gone. Boy, was I prophetic. In 2017, I lost my best friend. My father died. And you remember Camille. Camille died also at 41, triple negative breast cancer. And she called me Auntie Mommy, because by then both of her parents were dead. And I was there with her for that entire journey, from the time we started with the biopsy till they rolled her out of the house. And then I'm thinking, is there more? And I had been up to Maryland for some event. And as I was driving back from Jacksonville, the Holy Spirit said to me, go back. And I said, sure, I just need to get home and do something. And the next day, Friday, I showed up at my son's door, and my son literally fell into my arms. My son was deathly ill. And at that point, I just said, God, I can't. I can't. And so I had a series, and we're not even talking about, this is like the children's story that you tell where you put in the rocks and you say to the kids, is the jar full? And they say, oh, yeah, it's full. And then you put in some smaller rocks. Is that jar full now?
Right.
Yeah, it's full. Wait, then you put in some sand. Is it full now? No, you pour in water and there's still some space. And it was like, I can't, I just can't. And I'm so thankful that God did hear my prayer, and that instead of losing my son was able to recover. But understand that he was so sick that they couldn't do surgery on him because he was malnourished. The body will not heal if it's malnourished. And I think of malnourished when I was on one of my mission trips into Indonesia. I've done mission trips since I turned 50, I think it was. So I've basically had an opportunity. I've been on 5 of the 7 continents. Actually, I've been on 6 of them. Antarctica, I have not been and don't have a real desire to go, but I've been on 6 of them. But I've actually had a chance to share the gospel or be involved in mission work on 5 of them. And I remember being in Indonesia, sitting on a linoleum floor. And some of you might remember, if you looked at your history books, that they always kept the kitchen away from the house back in the 1800s. You did the cooking in kind of like an outhouse or something. And so I'm sitting on this floor and I'm holding in my arms a malnourished child, stomach extended, the whole thing. So when you talk about my son was malnourished so that he could not have surgery, I'm thinking of that kind of malnourished, the kind that we see in the posters that are asking for food. And I said to myself, Lord, these people need the basics of life. Why am I over here talking about Jesus? And the Holy Spirit said to me, because they need the very same thing that you want. You want better for your children. You want a good life. You want a purposeful life. You want dreams to be fulfilled. And he says they want hope.
This is good. And I'm telling you, so out to all of you all listening out today, if you are enjoying this and loving it, you can get more. The way you can get more is register for the She Empowerment Conference. We are kicking it off on Friday, and we have a weekend full of wonderful events. And the Honorable Judith Hawkins will be one of our featured guests. So you don't want to miss an opportunity to hear all that she has to say. This was just the tip of the iceberg. But if you join us, she will be sure to share more with you. And if you want to learn more about her or to reach out to her and get more information, please look at the information below. Contact her at info@journey-to judith-2-understanding.com. So please stay connected. We appreciate you all joining us tonight. I have just one more thing to put out to you, and that is, I've been asking all of our guests, using the word she followed by adjectives. How would you describe who she is, what she is, in a projection of what you want to see for the women that are coming to this conference this weekend?
You asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
I want she to have insight and understanding to her purpose for her journey.
I love that. And that's a great way to connect to her, because her email is journey-to-understanding. So if you're ready for that journey, do two things. Number one, register for the She Empowerment Conference. And number two, stay connected with with Judge Judith Hawkins, where she's going to take you, as I said, from where you are to where you want to be. And she's going to do it through ministry and through filling in biblical principles and how you can apply those to right now to where you are. If you're seeing this on replay, go ahead and still add a comment. And if you're seeing it right now, we will still be here to connect with those comments. Regina gave a goodbye and she said hope. So that was a great way to end it all. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my wonderful guest, who I lovingly call Aunt Judy, but you may call her the Honorable Judge Judith Hawkins.
I feel like I don't want the Florida bar to give me any more hassles. I guess I should say the retired
Honorable Judith Hawkins.
But you know what? The good thing about it is I would be retired anyway because my term would be up. So I can really say I'm retired. I really am retired.
Yes. And you had to go through those experiences so that you can pour into all of those people that you are ministering to in your Gaza Road ministry and Gaza Road Ministry 2. So we're excited about this, excited about the opportunity that you are bringing in your ministry with your business, as well as the extra added flavor that you're going to add to the She Empowerment Conference. Again, everyone, Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole, and my special guest, Judith Hawkins. Peace.
Back to you.
I love it.